take for you to accept Jadon Sancho back into this team at Manchester United, playing again next season? That will only happen if Ten Hag isn't in charge. He's made it very, very clear that he will never play under Ten Hag again. So, Ineos have got a lot to sort out whether Ten Hag stays or doesn't. Sancho will have to come back to United first of all. There is a surprise, secret deal being struck, apparently, between United and Jadon Sancho for another loan deal. Maybe a swap deal, trying to sweeten it up there. Sancho finally turned up for Dortmund over the weekend as well. So, what is going on with the Jadon Sancho saga right now? And were we too quick to jump on what had actually happened? Do we need to hear Jadon Sancho's side at all? Are you just disgusted in his behaviour and refusing to turn up to training or train or do whatever it was? There's a lot going against Jadon Sancho right now. Do we need to listen to what he has to say? Is this the problem at Manchester United? Is it always one side and not the other? Should we balance the argument out? You all know how I feel about Jadon Sancho. Personally, I didn't think he was worth fighting for in terms of the whole saga. I didn't think he was playing well enough. Some people would say to me that Jadon was playing well in pre-season and then got shafted by Ten Hag because Anthony came straight back in. And that's how he's seen his ass, and that's why he's out of the club, and that's why the big fallout happened. Do we pay attention to all of the turn up to late news and Nemanja Matic talking about Jadon Sancho? Should we ultimately just hear from the man himself? Do these players need to actually come out and tell us what's going on? Or have we had enough of the big interview, the Ronaldo, the Marcus Rashford? How are we supposed to judge it as fans? For me, like I said, it's what's happening on the pitch. I don't think he was doing enough. If Ten Hag doesn't think he's doing enough, we have to trust in the manager, don't we? Well, this is your chance to get your opinions on that. Get your comments in. We are live. Make sure you comment on the video afterwards as well. Let me know what you think of this Jadon Sancho situation right now. Please give the video a like and subscribe to the channel. I'm Adam. This is Forever United TV. Let's get into what is actually going on then, because stories have surfaced from Bild, the German publication. We all know them. We've heard plenty from them in the past. I think the last time I got excited with something that came out of Bild was when we heard that Sebastian Schweinsteiger could be coming to Manchester United. I remember that day. I just like the man. It was the wrong time to sign him, like United do with a lot of players. The right players at the wrong time of their career. It's what we've been like over the last decade. But still, it was an exciting time to see Sebastian. And he does always come out and tweet support for United. He's just one of them guys that you just love. He's like a Zlatan for me. He's up there with that. I was just like gutted we never seen the best of him because he was absolute quality, that guy. But yeah, Bild have been out talking about Jadon Sancho, the situation. This always happens when a player does something or something happens, whether it be good, whether it be bad. He scored a fantastic goal for Dortmund to make it 2-0. I think it was Hoffenheim they were playing yesterday. Very good individual goal. Very Sancho-esque of what we used to think was the Jadon Sancho we was buying from the left wing as well. So that brings up that argument again about playing on the right or playing on the left. Where was his best position? At the end of the day, when something good happens or something big happens or a big statement's made, like that goal, some will say it's not a big statement, but you know how it works. They start talking again. Dortmund now looking into, we said this the other day, like 10 games to go left in the season, guys. The transfer window is round the corner. Talk has to start and has to start very soon. So what is going on? There's apparently a secret deal for Jadon Sancho being ironed out behind the scenes between both clubs for him to stay for another season-long loan. Do we need to just sell Jadon Sancho and get the cash? Is there a player at Dortmund that you guys actually like that would bring to United? Because United holds some cards here. Is there anyone at Dortmund that you think is good enough to come to United, would improve our team, that you would make or take advantage of in this current situation? If they want to keep Sancho and they cannot afford to pay for him, then is there anyone there we can make weight with the deal? Can we actually take Dortmund to the cleaners for a change? Because they've had plenty out of us, haven't they? We spoke about this the other day. I'm sick of Dortmund and how they've absolutely shafted us over the years for players. And it's not all their fault, don't get me wrong. The players turned up and weren't good enough. Mkhitaryan, Kagawa, Sancho, there's been a few. And it's just not worked out for Manchester United. So, I look at Sancho. We knew what type of player he was. We knew he was a good player. The attitude, we all questioned. Matic, we know about what he was saying about him constantly turning up late. Discipline has been a big, big problem for him. Does that type of player fit into a new structure at Manchester United? Is there room for Sancho? Can we make more of him? Personally, for me, I am at stop blaming people. Don't blame the manager. You could have easily sorted this out with Ten Hag for me. You could have easily just gone and apologised to him, sorted it out man-to-man, face-to-face. I won't say pretty much like Rashford did, because he needed his entourage to help him out to do it as well. So for me, I look at it and go, Jadon Sancho just needed to go and deal with this and then just knuckle down. And then he could have come out and just gone over it all. Could have gone to all the complaining he wanted to about not being treated right. But when you are just, I won't say just, but when you are underperforming, when you are not doing well on the pitch, and no one can tell me that Jadon Sancho strung 2 or 3 good games together in a row. Yes, you can argue back at me and say, well, who did for this Man United team over the last few years, Adam? I'm all for that. I hear that. But when you are refusing to speak to the manager or apologise, we don't know and we'll never know what's gone on behind the scenes. I mean, guys, you tell me. I mean, honestly, I'm throwing this video out here today because of the news that's come out, but is it worth us actually hearing from the other side? Because I've been told a lot of things regarding Jadon Sancho. I'm not going to stand. We have to look at things and we have to judge them for what's been written in the media. We have to look at it as fans. So we hear news. We may know certain people who know players. We hear stories and rumours. We have to look at it, talk about it as fans. I'm not going to stand here, so I'm not going to sit here and say that I am in the know, I know more about certain things. I'm just going to talk to you guys as a fan, which is what this channel is all about. I'm not trying to act like I'm a journalist or a wannabe journalist like some people do. Well, I want to just look at this as a fan and go, right, I've been told certain things about Jadon Sancho and the situation and what happened. There's a lot more to it than what I knew at that time. And you all know I went right in on Jadon Sancho. I'm all here to be proven wrong. All the time I say that about me. I say that that's what this channel is about. We'll discuss it. If someone comes up with proof that Ten Hag was in the wrong with this and Jadon has been treated badly, then I'm all ears. I want to know what's going on. It's our team, it's our club, and we want the best. If players have been mistreated, then we need to know about this as well. But also, there is the other side of it. And the other side of it for me was pretty much, it wasn't so much what was going on. It was what was going on the pitch. It's like, show me that you are that player. Did he do enough to actually warrant a place in the team? Now, I think Jadon Sancho is still worth a little bit of money. I think we're looking, 40 to 50 million? I think he's got that in him. He's young. He's still dynamic. We've seen in the goal he scored, and we've seen snippets of what he can do. He has got it. If someone can get into his head and just convince him that he just needs to knuckle down and play his ball, he will be a great player. He was a regular for England. When he came to United, it all went completely wrong for him. Whether you can look into that and the way that United are and how we actually destroy players is something else. And is that something to bring into the argument with Jadon Sancho? Like, he's come to the poison. He's come to the toxicity, which is Manchester United right now. And you know what? People are always in on the players, including myself. I do give massive amounts of criticism. I try and balance the argument back by bringing the other side in where I can. I've tried it with Rashford. I'll give him the chance to show on the pitch that he is there willing to take United forward. I personally don't think he has. I don't think Jadon Sancho did. I really don't. I just don't think it was working. Whether or not the system was to blame or anything like that. But I also look at other players who just knuckle down at the football team and I've got on with it. And like last season, you have to say, look, Jadon played a part in parts of it, but there were moments in games where the alarm bells were ringing. Now, if Dortmund gets something out of him, then are we just looking, right, come on, let's just cash in? Or is there still something there for us? It's what I'm asking you guys right now in this one with Jadon. I'm going to come to the chat and see what you guys are saying. I'm just going to scroll right back up. Please give the video a like while you're at it, people. We're already motoring, well over 300 in the room with us. Let's get up to 100 likes, please, everyone. Chris says, Sancho, like a lot of this generation, blame everyone and everything but themselves for their actions and careers. It's what it looks like from the outside. I've got no problem with that comment, Chris, at all. What I'm going to ask, though, is, like, if Jadon Sancho came out and spoke and the truth came out and we was wrong, would you accept that player back in? Now, whether or not you think it was wrong in terms of Ten Hag and the chances he was given is one argument. The one that I was pushing was the fact that he just wasn't doing it on the pitch for me. That was my own personal opinion on Jadon and how he was playing. I don't think he was doing it. And I just think, you know what? If he's going to kick up a stink, then let's try and cash in on him and get rid of him. Too long, these players that have just not found form at United have lingered around and lingered around. We've hit the Jadon Sancho situation head on early. can we actually make something of this and get rid of the player rather than it be the Donny van de Beek syndrome and it just drift and drift and drift, carry on with the massive wages? You know what I'm talking about in this, the way that United run things and don't deal with situations. We've got an opportunity to handle this and handle it this summer and get this all put to bed. Whether it be Ten Hag, gone, Sancho comes back and irons things out with the club, or we cash in on him, make it work. Or what do you think, guys? Is there anyone at Dortmund right now? Because we know Dortmund want him. That's a club that do want Jadon Sancho. They just haven't got the money to pay for him, and would likely look at loaning him or swapping a player. Swapping for a player at Dortmund or bring him back to the club. That's what I want to know from you guys. Actually, I'm going to do that in a poll, just so you guys can give your opinions on that, because I'm not going to be able to answer everyone's questions on that. So let's do a poll on that. For Sancho, should we? Three options. Cash in. Let's swap for Dortmund player of your choice. You tell me. Bring back and work it out. Okay. Poll is up now, guys. Let me know what you think. Three options for Jadon Sancho. Cash in, swap for a Dortmund player, or bring back and work it out. What do you think? Where are you at? Some people actually still think that Jadon Sancho can do a job at Manchester United. They do. Please stop peddling this myth about Donny. He's not been good enough from day one. He's leaving on a free. He's unsellable. That's Graham. Who is Graham going in on there? He makes me wonder sometimes, Gray. He really does. Did anyone speak to Graham in the chat before I go in on him to rile him about this? Because no one's saying there is any crap about Donny. I don't know, Graham. You're going to have to answer for yourself there, mate, because I didn't say anything. I'll give you a chance, mate. He showed his true colours, would rather play FIFA than play for the shirt. Get rid. Moments like that don't help at all. I remember going in on that big time. Whatever has happened, he hasn't played for us for 3 years, and when he has been poor. And by all accounts, he's hardly done much at Dortmund, has he? He's not done much. He's doing okay. Had a good game last night. Cash in if possible, but unlikely to happen, says Graham. Don't want any more dealings with Dortmund. I know where you're at with that one, Byron. I really don't. I think they've taken us to the cleaners too many times. I would bring back Sancho, says Michael. Elaborate on that. Tell me why. I want to know why. I'd be interested to see where his poll is as well, because it's looking tasty at the moment. There is a chunk of people that would go the other way. Okay, here another view. I could be wrong, but wasn't Adam part of United Stand? Would you not go public if Mark was ruining your reputation publicly and you feel it was wrong? Jordan, I was on the United Stand. Everyone knows I was on the United Stand. If that place wants to implode and blow itself up, they can go for it. I don't want anything to do with them for my own reasons, and I will sit back and gladly take my popcorn. Adam, you are forever saying you're not like the others or other people. Who are they? Why are you all digging for this? Talk about the football. You know who everyone else is. You talk about them all the time. I've not mentioned them, but you all know who they are. Ten Hag and Sancho will have their own versions of both versions. Could be partly correct. Irrespectively, next season, if we get 45 million plus, sell him, and if not, find a way to integrate him. Ooh. That is what you call splinters there. Sitting right on the fence with that one. Oh, right. Into some more. He's disrespected us as much as Ten Hag, regardless of what has occurred behind the scenes. He should be man enough to apologise and get on with it for us. Sancho scores a goal, finally, and all of a sudden, he's Mbappe. No one's saying he's Mbappe, Donovan. Definitely not. For me, like I just said, I just don't think he's doing it on the pitch. In a way, all of the aggro off the pitch is making it worse. But if you was to say to me, when everyone's fit, would you bring Sancho into the team? No. I wouldn't play him. So if there's a chance to sell him, sell him. I just didn't think that Sancho was doing it on the pitch. And him kicking off really pissed me off, to be honest. It really did. It wound me up. Like, seriously, who do you think you are? Like, you are not doing it on the pitch. If you was smashing it on the pitch and we're getting good noises coming out of training that you were training hard and everything was going well, then fair enough. But we just didn't hear it, and we definitely didn't see it. Now, his argument will be, well, you didn't see it because I wasn't given the right chance. Well, we've seen enough in the first couple of seasons, and it wasn't good enough, was it? That's why Ten Hag didn't pick you, and then things went south from there. T, who's been a member for 2 months, who was just renewed with all of the popcorn emojis. Thank you for that, T. Loving you on the channel, being a mod and a member. Love that. He is the best player. He is best player. He gets us goals. Who's that? Who's the best player gets us goals? I don't know. You mean Sancho? Just let me know on that one. No problem, Jordan. Totally fine, my man. Let's see. Sancho or Rashford? Which poison will you take? Is there an option where we don't have to take any poison and just move on? What else have we got in here? Sancho out, says Donovan. Adam, would you sell Antony this summer? Yes, I would. I would sell Antony, I would sell Rashford, I would sell Sancho, and I would sell Greenwood and see what we can recoup for all of them. I think they're all doable and all possible. By the way, there is more stories today going into other news as well on this. Keep your Sancho comments coming in and we'll keep the poll running for a while. But the club have come out and said that they are not going to sell Mason Mount this summer. Well, no, they bleeding shouldn't. You can't sell a player after 1 year and the injuries that he's had. Surely we have to at least see if he can do anything before we sell him. Like, I understand, like, if he's going to be constantly injured, we need to make a decision sooner or later. But, yeah, it's like there is a line with injuries that you cannot cross. It's like it's not the player's fault that he's continuously injured. It is not their fault. But you have to judge it, I feel, after a certain amount of years. If it continues to keep happening, then you have really not done your research. You haven't recruited properly, and you have to take the hits, bite the bullets, and the player moves on. I still think Mount can come back and do a job. Whether it's a squad player, whether it's a first-team player, we just do not know. It looks like he was never fit all season. Even when he was playing, he just didn't seem to be fully there. So when he comes back, we'll see what he's made of, but we definitely shouldn't be selling Mason Mount in the summer. It's unfair, I feel, to go in that quick. And you all know what my stance is. I always give players 2 seasons. I do. Even though I've gone in on a big time this season, I still don't rate him fully. But I'm not going to deny that he's had 3 good games in a row, really, with what we've had recently. So I praise where it's due. He has had a good few games. I just hope it's not the usual 5 games and then boom, big mistake comes out. That's what I hope anyway. Let me see. Let's see. Guys, you may not like it, but I want Mason Greenwood back, says Mel. As the player, great. The situation, big problems. No one's debating what Mason Greenwood is and what he can do on the pitch as a player. Everyone's got an issue with more aggro coming to the club again if Mason Greenwood comes back for reasons we all know. Let me see. Malu says, they said City got the 2 years rule. If you can't perform within 2 years, you are out. The same applies to Sancho. Ouch. Antony. Yep. Cheers for the 100 likes, guys. Keep them likes coming in, everybody. Like. Please, everyone. Get your comments in. We are all in on the Jadon Sancho situation. There is a poll running right now that I want you guys to get involved in. The 3 options are, and if you are watching the video later, I will tell you them again. Would you, 1, cash in on Jadon Sancho, 2, swap him for a Dortmund player, or 3, bring him back and work it out? 11% want to bring him back and work it out, and 13% want to swap with Dortmund. Cash in, 76% of the fan base, or the chat, sorry, are saying cash in on Sancho, get rid now. Let me know in the comments later if you are watching what you would do with Jadon Sancho. We only said swap with a Dortmund player because the main headline that we talked about in the show today has been Bild reporting on Dortmund's eagerness to keep hold of Jadon Sancho, possibly with another season-long loan, and maybe, if that wasn't working for United, try and tempt them with a swap deal for another player from Borussia Dortmund. Now, what players are in there? That's up to you guys. You let me know. For me, personally, I hate swap deals. I don't like them because there's always a player that doesn't want to go. One player wants to go one way, but there's always one of the players that just doesn't want to do it, isn't there? And it never seems comfortable. It never seems right. So, no, I'm not keen on the swap deal. I would rather us just put that money in to the football club and spend it for another player that we really, really need. What do you guys reckon to the Joao Neves story? Casemiro moving on. Joao Neves coming in. The younger version of a Casemiro. Now, he's pulling up trees at Benfica. Well, I wouldn't say pulling up trees. He's doing well, let's say that. Benfica, not having a great season. Not having a great season at all, by all accounts. I don't know too much about the Portuguese league, but just listening to certain reporters and what's happening there over in Portugal, not the best at the moment. But we know what they are. They are a good club that does develop a lot of good young talent. Some mega players have come out of Dortmund, out of Benfica over the years. So you got to look at it and go, Joao Neves, young, expensive, very expensive, according to reports, upwards of 80 million. I mean, seriously? No. I wouldn't be paying that for Joao Neves. Someone will look into it. The story isn't bollocks, Graham. Calm down again, Mr. Negative. It's been going for months, this story. United are watching him, and it is real. They are looking at him. But I don't think we will be spending that money. That's where the story is. It's not complete bull, like you said, Gray. It is just an unlikely one for me. I think they would go for him if the price was right, but we know what Benfica are like. We know they don't actually. They don't buckle on prices, but I think English clubs have to now set the stall out. We cannot be having Chelsea going out and bidding the world for an Enzo Fernandez. We cannot let that happen. Otherwise, it's just going to be a non-stop. We're going to be feeding Europe all of the money that's being generated from the Premier League. We need to keep it in-house and just say, look, no, okay, keep him. Good luck. We'll find someone else. Eventually, it will come around where we are starting to get these players for a cheaper price because you cannot be taken to the cleaners every single time. We cannot be shafted the way that we always are by the European clubs. They know the money's there and they know we will pay. Guest has become a member gifted by General Food. Two of the mainstays on the channel. Love that coming together there. Guess I'm sure you are absolutely buzzing with that. And make sure you do thank the legend. That is General Food. He's done well with that one. Michael says, if Manchester United sell Rashford in the summer, who would you sign as replacement and wear the number 10 shirt? It doesn't necessarily mean we're going to buy a player like Rashford. Where is Rashford's best position? He's played across all of the front three positions this season. Again, I'm more concerned about United getting the players out. Then I'll start looking at players to bring in. I liked Evan Ferguson, but I feel like he's dropped off. Again, second season syndrome hitting at Brighton. And a lot of players jump on the scene and then disappear the season after. Have they got what it takes? For me, replacing Rashford would be... there's a number of players you could be looking at. But I don't know what would suit best, what position right now. It's like, where would you spend Rashford's money is a better question. Would you spend it on another forward? A centre forward? Tricky one. Very, very tricky one. We have a few members in the house, donated ones as well. Jordan Hall has donated and Samir Brown has become a member. Welcome to the Members Club, Samir. Verbal Kint has just donated a membership as well. I'm just waiting to see who's actually taken that one because Leo was just renewed after 3 months being a member as well. United want Neves and Silva in the summer, right? Rumours and stories, we have been looking at them, but it's not a definite. Liam Kilcommons, welcome to the members club. That was the gifted one from our man Verbal Kent. Thank you for that, guys. Keep them coming in. Loving having that membership, that strong core. Diaz yesterday was a monster. Just his attitude and desire. Now look at Rashford. It is, the comparison is embarrassing. It really is. Anthony, watched him a few times. Adam looks a quality player, but I think this new structure is about identifying young, relatively unknown talents that we can make our own. The problem you've got with Neves, like, it's a lot of money for a young player, and if it doesn't work, then it is a massive gamble. A massive gamble. And it's, like I said, it's your whole transfer kitty on one player. United won't be doing that this summer. Not the way that Ineos are working. I like the idea of someone like Neves, but Sir Jim Radcliffe is not going to go out and spend that much money knowing that we're out of the Champions League on one player. I just don't see it. I really don't. They could have made some form of deal with Alvaro Fernandez if they were clever, because they do want to keep him, but the buyout clause is very cheap and it's nothing compared. It's embarrassing. We should have really utilised the Alvaro situation. We have got the buyback. If he does turn into a superstar left back, then we can buy him back, so that's good. But ultimately, you look at it and you go, you ain't got that amount of money to spend on one player. I think for that amount of money that's being brandished around for Neves, United could bring in 3 players that would improve the team. So no, if you were to ask me about Neves and say, do you think it's going to happen, I would say no. It is real. They are looking at him, but there's no way that we can afford him, I don't think. Personal opinion on that one. Other news in terms of transfers, Manchester United, according to Samuel Luckhurst, are looking at and are still monitoring Branthwaite and Onana from, yes, the other Onana from Everton. Now, if they were scouting him as they should have been in the United game at weekend, I don't think they would have been that impressed, because I thought both had poor games against United at weekend. They really did. And the money, again, that's being sort of touted as to what Everton are looking for is completely off the scale. And I just don't think United are going to go for it. I like Branthwaite. I think he's had better games than what he has had against Manchester United this season. Not ideal to look at because he really hasn't turned up in either of them games. And he was poor at weekend. He has got talent and he has got a future, but not at that price tag. Onana, definitely the type of midfielder we could do with that strong, combative, quick, and can get up and down the pitch type of midfielder. Someone who isn't going to be soft and knocked off the ball, can take the ball in tricky situations as well. But it depends what he wants. He was poor as well at weekend. So, again, is that type of player a downgrade in what we should be looking for? I mean, or is it the type of player we should be looking for? Why are we not finding these players? That's what you've got to say. It's like Everton brought them through. Where were Manchester United when it comes to finding these young talent before they go on to absolute stardom and stupid amounts of money for the likes of Brighton, Everton? It is going to come down. I think, who was it who said it? I can't remember who said it in the chat. It's going to come down to Dan Ashworth and Ineos' set up now with United and how we move forward. It is going to be different. We're all waiting to see exactly how they approach transfer windows and what changes at the football club. Will we spend a lot of money? Are Ineos going to be true to the word and say that they're going to be hard negotiators now for Manchester United? If we are going to be hard negotiators, then transfers are not going to happen very quickly. It's going to be a bedding in period. Again, going back to the structure and what is going on, I feel like we're in a position now where Ineos are trying to make sure that they can go into these transfer windows with the right people in place and negotiate hard and get these deals done. They have to find them first and find what situation these players are in and work on the best deals that are going to be easy to attack. Certain ones like the Neves deal, I mean, seriously, we don't really stand a chance against Benfica, I don't think, with that one. We don't. We can have another chant if United sign Andre Amadou Onana. Oh, yes. We have 2 Onanas. We have 2 Onanas today. I'll get my coat. I don't even know if that was like singing or what song that was. I'm not sure. I don't want either of them at that ridiculous price, says Henry. I like Onana from Everton. He could do a job next to Mainu, says Leo. Henry was the first comment there who didn't want either of them. Thanks, Henry. I think 99% of this chat have been in the SA situation as Sancho, where we've worked for someone who didn't like or really didn't get on with, so we really hate the boy for standing up for himself. We don't know if he did. We don't know what he's done. That's the problem, Mark. And it always will be, and why we're always stuck in these conversations like who is wrong and who is right. You are right in what you said. He does need to be able to defend himself. But I don't think the club are going to allow it to happen. So is it the club that's the problem and not Sancho and Ten Hag? Should the club come for? I mean, with a structure in place, this would have been sorted. If this had happened with Ineos in charge, I don't think we'd be looking at this situation. I think the way United have run, it was like, what's the easiest way out? I mean, we see now we dealt with the bleeding Greenwood situation. It was farcical. So there's no hope that Manchester United can ease any situation like this in the future, or they wouldn't have been unless Ineos would have come in. They are in now, so let's see if they do approach things like this any differently. Because it is all to do with a culture. It does need a bit of a reshift, and with the right people in place, I just don't see us having these issues with like a player-manager argument. It'll be taken out of their hands, I feel, and I think a decision will be made by the structure that's above the manager. Everton are not exactly pulling up trees. Buying these players is not going to set us on fire, says Boxing Straight Talk. No, not necessarily. Nigel, don't think that Onana from Everton is all that. Let's see. There's no smoke without fire, says Byron. I'm taking that you mean by the Neves news. The manager needs to be right. No player power should be considered. Even if the manager is wrong and we find out he's wrong, Liam. I think that's the problem that everyone's got with the whole situation. Too much average player, Onana is not good enough. So I think the general consensus from the chat is that Branthwaite and Onana are not good enough for United in the situation we're in right now and where we're at. That standard of player is what we've already got. Would I be right in saying that, everyone? I think that is what's coming across from the chat in all of this. Let me see what else we've got before we get into some more news. 12 more to make thumbs up. We'll make it. Oh, sorry guys. Yeah. Please give the video a like. Let's get to the 150 mark. Thank you all. Please do download our SofaScore app, guys. It is the best app out there. Scan the QR code, the bottom right-hand corner there. If you cannot scan that QR code, then please do drop in the description, click on the link. It all goes to helping the channel, and you guys get the best football app out there with all of your information on everything about every single club. And the best bit, it's free. So get on it, get in the description, click on the link or scan that QR code and get the best football app that there is out there, guys. Thank you very much. Yeah, going back to the Jadon Sancho situation quickly, let's bring up the poll. Plenty of people have voted in on this one. Let's end this poll right now. 76% of the chat would just cash in on Jadon Sancho. The 14% swap, bringing back 9%. I think a lot of fans have just had enough of Jadon Sancho. I think he's sort of like, if you was to describe a player which pretty much was this poor era of Manchester United, the player power era, you'd be looking at a few, wouldn't you? I mean, they all seem to be rolled in the same. It's like Jadon Sancho, Jesse Lingard, Marcus Rashford, the young English player. And I'm not saying that all young English players are the issue at the football club, far from it, but it always seems to be that, doesn't it? Always seems to be the same sort of profile of player. Young, flamboyant, English. They're the ones that get all of the stick. The stereotyped glamour, glitz and glamour sort of prima donna type of player. I mean, you look at it and you go, I thought the Jadon Sancho signing was going to be the one that changed us. I did. I was fully convinced by it. I really was. I seen what he was doing for England. I seen what he did for Dortmund. And I thought, you know what? This is it. This is the one. This is the one. And it was probably one of the biggest disappointments alongside the likes of... I mean, Ronaldo wasn't a disappointment in terms of what he did. I mean, the first season, he scored a lot of goals. I don't think he contributed much else to the team, and he did affect us. But still, I think Jadon Sancho was up there, one of the biggest disappointments in terms of transfers that we've ever made. For a number of reasons, you can argue Antony because he's just not done it this season. But Antony did more than Jadon Sancho did last season. Way more than Jadon Sancho. So the argument was there that Sancho just wasn't doing enough. Probably wasn't working hard enough. Whether or not something else went on behind the scenes, we don't know. And I don't think we're ever going to know. But I'll tell you one thing. Out of all of this, if Ten Hag is sacked before the end of the season, the club then has to be tested. And the Sancho situation has to really be dealt with first above anything else. Because the new manager coming in will go, I liked Sancho though. But then, what is that telling? What is that saying? It's all of a sudden, it looks like Ineos's new era at Manchester United is set off with a bang, but for all the wrong reasons. It's set off where the previous era ended, by bringing the player back, hoping to get in the team because the manager is left. Because again, the players just will not put in that extra bit of effort. They will not listen to Ten Hag. It's quite clear they are not listening to Ten Hag, because the results on the pitch and the way that we're playing is evident to see. It is a very tricky situation and a big, big test of Ineos's resolve, I feel. Amy says, Erik Ten Hag, not the best manager / coaching staff makeup with Sancho. Another person there who thinks that it just didn't fit Jadon Sancho. Should the player actually be fitting what the club want rather than the other way around? Is that too much player power? Cheers for the 150 likes, guys. Get your comments coming in. Keep them coming. Make sure you please hitting that subscribe button if you're tuning in for the first time and you are giving the video a like. The Life of Riley says, we all thought he was going to do bits, Adam. The club and Jadon pulled the wool over everyone's eyes. His attitude and commitment. Paul Greaves says, Pep has called his players out in public. How many of them have come out crying on social media? They don't dare. These are consequences. Fair enough. That's fair enough, that, Paul. Totally agree with that. You do not do what Sancho did on social media. I think that's the difference and why everyone has given up on Jadon Sancho. Because it just looked like he wasn't willing to put the work in and all he wanted to do was bitch about it on social media. Then to find out he's actually online while the club is actually playing in Europe at Bayern Munich, playing FIFA. These things are what push people away from bringing Sancho back. Not the player that he is. It's just the attitude, I think. And we've got a lot of attitude issues at Manchester United. We really have. Swap with Dortmund player. If we can't do that, then just sell him. It's the English players who wanted to control. Maguire was one of them. Sancho, Rashford, and a few more. We can't get rid of all the English players, guys. We need to have our quota of English talent. Or homegrown talent, sorry. Got that wrong there. Jim, he's not using the youth. He's used a few, obviously, but he's not fully committed to youth. I don't know about that. I think Ten Hag is in a tricky situation because the club have struggled to get rid of players as well. And he has to be seen to be giving these players a chance. It's embarrassing. And it's like, how do you handle a situation where you have got players that are in this football club, with the way the football club is run and how much pressure is put on a manager? How do you handle players that are on this amount of money when you're bringing youth players through and starting them ahead of them? It's sending the message, the club doesn't like it, and then the manager ends up getting the sack. Now, Ten Hag has come in, I feel, at the wrong time, under the wrong regime. Like, if it was Ten Hag coming through now, under Ineos, starting out from this summer going forward, I think everyone would have been really excited because we may have seen a structure that wanted to get behind the manager's style of play. Erik Ten Hag at Ajax was everything that Sir Jim Ratcliffe was describing in how he wanted Manchester United to play. Fast flowing, in between the lines, phases of play, attacking football. Brilliant. But he's lost that. Why can Erik ten Hag not get a tune out of Manchester United? Why can he not implement his style of play? It has to be the players. It has to be them not wanting to do what he says. If that is the case, then, like I said, every single player is under scrutiny, and every single player's position at this football club should be up for grabs. You can't do it all in one season. No, you can't. And this is where that horrible fine balancing act is going to be with Ineos. It's going to be difficult, extremely difficult to handle this summer. As much as I'm looking forward to seeing what is going to change and what's coming, I'm also very aware of the difficulties that they are going to have in handling certain players, egos, and people that have got used to getting their own way at this football club. There are a lot of them. UK Strains, are you asking, do we want Sancho back, or are you saying we're bringing him back? Well, if Ten Hag is gone, Jadon Sancho comes back. Jadon Sancho comes back anyway. It's whether or not United can get another deal to get him gone. So the way I see it is, if Ten Hag does survive, Jadon Sancho doesn't go on pre-season tour and the club have to make something happen. Ineos have to back Ten Hag and get rid of Jadon Sancho. Ideally sell him. If Ten Hag is gone, then I feel like the club still have to back the manager in Ten Hag and trust in what was happening, and knowing that just because the manager's changed, this isn't going to work. You have to set the precedent. You have to say, look, the previous manager wanted you out for a reason. It was quite clear that you did not want to work for this club, so you're out the door either way. Jadon Sancho cannot survive unless something comes out and everything is cleared, manager and player are aligned, and we can all move forward. But it has to be off Ten Hag's say-so if he is still the manager. Ineos just take the situation away. If Ten Hag's gone, sell Jadon Sancho. I think that's the only way we can go with it. It's perfectly simple. If players throw their toys out, then the club should get rid. Sancho and Erik ten Hag need to go before the pre-season tour of the USA. Ideally, if the decisions are going to be made, it does need to be before the tour. That is right. Andrew Shott says, we know what tactics we play, and it will be the same against Liverpool on Sunday. Park the bus and try and catch them on the break. Unfortunately, yes, it will. Alex Ferguson said, as soon as the manager isn't the most important person at the club, it's over. So without question, I back Erik ten Hag on this Sancho situation. I backed him on the Sancho, I backed him on the Ronaldo, I backed him on a few. But the days of the manager being the most important man at the football club are over. It is a structure and it is a team. It's not one man anymore. You cannot run a club on your own like Sir Alex Ferguson did. It was a different era and football has completely changed. It was interesting when Rooney said it was a different generation now, weaker basically. The manager's approach has to be completely different. It is completely changed. Everything is gone. Adam sacking Ten Hag is not the answer. No manager could handle these players. Get rid of them first. The tactics aren't good, mate, are they? We're not seeing anything under Ten Hag. I just want him to show me something in these last few games without using excuses. I've just not been convinced by him. I really haven't this season. We've gone backwards. I understand the player side of it, and it hasn't been easy for him, but still, there is a lot of errors and there is a lot of mistakes that Ten Hag has also made. And I think it is a case that it may be a full clean sweep in the summer is the best way forward. We cannot continue with these players, though. You're dead right about that, Henry. Any player can get sold if they're not pulling their weight. Even Sir Marcus of Wivenshaw. That's how we need to move forward. Boxing Straight says, my wife's family are Liverpool. I'm going abroad this weekend. Going hiding. Not wanting to play for the manager isn't the same as not wanting to play for the club. Self-respect going out on that pitch. You don't see any of that from any of these players these days, it would seem. Like, yeah, you don't like the manager, but you still go out there and you do a job. That's how it should always be. but these players just don't have it in them, I don't think. They don't. They are very, very weak, I think, when it comes to dealing with what Manchester United are and what Manchester United's issues, or what issues come with Manchester United playing for us, because it is a higher pressure, it is a bigger demand. The scrutiny is non-stop, and it's just going to be, it just has to be, it has to be a special player, someone who can handle what this club is all about. That's what a transfer structure brings. You know what the mentality of this player is. You know where this player's come from. You know the past. You know his injury record. You know what he was like for other managers. You've listened to other managers. You've spoken to other managers. You've done all of your due diligence, and you know exactly what you're buying. So Alex Ferguson did it. I just don't think United have done it for a very, very long time. And that is the problem. Guys, that pretty much is it for the show today. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. All of the likes. Please give me some more on the way out. Just give it a like on your way out. Thank you. Brilliant. Loads of people in the room with us. All new members. Thank you so much, everybody. We'll be back later this evening. Make sure you're there at 6:30. Back to the normal time this week now, guys. So, yeah, plenty going on this week. Jam-packed towards the back end of the week as well. Make sure you're tuned in for all the updates as we go forward this week. But for now, guys, that is it. Have a fantastic rest of your Monday.